I'm President and CEO of Trevali Resources Corp. We're a Vancouver-listed junior exploration and development company. Our main project is the Santander silver lead zinc mine in Peru, which we're going to be putting in production later this year with Glencore International, the Swiss-based mining conglomerate. We're currently have got a very successful exploration and resource development program, which is still ongoing. At the moment, we're sitting on 5.3 million tonnes. That contains approximately 700 million pounds zinc, nearly 200 million pounds lead, and a little bit shy, or slightly less than 8 million ounces silver. But we're just finishing a very successful exploration program where we're hitting some of the thickest and highest grade mineralization to date. So we've got 3 deposits. They all remain open, and they're getting better as they get deeper. So far, it's been very successful, very pleased, and very cost-efficient exploration. Our discovery costs are approximately half a cent, so half a cent per discovered pound of zinc and lead mineralization. Really, there's a variety of reasons. Well, I suppose the main one is when we've done it before. I've 19 years experience, 15 of which were with major mining companies. I started off with Pasminco Exploration, the Australian zinc mining house, but probably most of my professional career was spent with Anglo American. I was a base metal specialist for them, but when I was with them I was very fortunate to be involved in the discovery and the development of a very similar mine in Ireland called Lachine that's still in production. So certainly, I've done it before. I've been fortunate enough in my career to do it before for another company. This time obviously we're doing it for ourselves. Also, on the mining side, we have Glencore International. They are the world's largest metal trader, but they're also a very significant mining house as well. They're the world's 5th largest zinc producer globally, and they've got 6 of these mines in production in Peru. So the deal with Glencore is they essentially are our mining department, so they will mine and process the ore, and we as the junior will do what we're good at, which is exploration, find new deposits for them, and for our shareholders obviously, and do the permitting, community relations. So it's a pretty good symbiotic relationship with the Glencore guys. Generally, we take a very conservative approach. We use long-term metal prices, so not current metal prices. So long-term metal prices, we're using 80 cent for zinc. It's currently at $1. 80 cent for lead, and that's at $1 as well, and $14 per ounce silver, and that's at 17. But if we use those long-term prices, the in-situ metal value of payable, so the stuff you can actually mine and get paid for, is approximately $750 million US. Now, obviously, to come off that, you have to take your mine costs and everything else, obviously to derive your profit. But we do know, or our partners rather, Glencore, are very confident it's going to be a very low-cost producer. They've got a lot of expertise in this type of deposit. So we think we can produce, or we estimate we can produce a ton of concentrate, so something you'll sell for about $20 a ton. So very, very effective, very good margins. At current metal prices, the in-situ metal value is a little bit shy of $1 billion. The plan is certainly to be in production by the end of this year. Certainly, we're anticipating sometime in October or November. It's wet season in Peru at the moment, so we're just waiting for the rains to stop so we can start moving the heavy equipment in and build foundations, etc. Certainly end of this year and commissioning, but really, start of 2011 will be full-scale commercial production. It always takes, a couple of months to make sure everything's working fine before you, obviously commence. We're going to be starting at 2,000 tonnes per day, which is probably a median-sized producer for this deposit type in the district. But the results to date have been very positive. We'd like to be able to go to 4,000 tonnes per day as soon as possible. Certainly the mining and the ore body shapes are amiable to do that from underground, but we're going to be starting with open pit production as well, so cheap tonnes up front. And with the plant we're building with Glencore, we're already pre-designing as much of it as 4,000 tonnes per day as possible. So we'll have 4,000 tonnes per day crushing capacity. Basically the mill where you grind the ore to produce the concentrates, that's only 2,000 tonnes per day. So we'd need to get another mill circuit in, and there's plenty of room for floats on the technical side, so that's the plan. The next step, certainly on a corporate level, is we're currently, our senior board, Toronto TSX listing, is in progress. It's hard to get a hard definitive date, but we would anticipate, or we'd like to be listed sometime in April. We lodged obviously our request in late October, and it usually takes 5 to 6 months, depending. But we've answered all the questions, and obviously the exchange does its own due diligence. So Toronto listing. Once we do the senior board listing in Toronto, we're also going to list in the senior board in Lima as well. And generally that takes about 4 to 6 weeks after. you're essentially grandfathered in. And we think that's going to be very, very positive. Certainly in Lima, there's the Peruvian pension funds and institutions, 80% of their money has to stay in country. Peru is a mining country. They like production stories and they tend to be long-term shareholders. So I think that will add a lot of value very quickly. On the technical exploration side, obviously we started construction. So that will be ongoing, obviously, over the next 4 to 5 months. So we're obviously building our power lines, we're putting in the foundation for the plant, upgrading the camp, etc. So we're trying to move forward and fast track on a variety of different fronts. Zinc, for the most part, is used for galvanizing steel. So any steel work, but usually the automotive industry, cars, I guess, will be the biggest user. Obviously, lead is used in batteries, and whether they're renewable energy batteries, but it's still lead is probably a very large component. And obviously, silver's got a variety of uses, from jewellery but to medicinal benefits as well. So it's got a broad spectrum. We think we're significantly undervalued. If you look and people do their own due diligence, there are very few zinc or polymetallic producers, junior producers out there to invest in. We will be in production with less than 100 million shares out. Our competitors tend to have about 200 to 400 million shares out, I guess, in kind of polymetallic space. We think there's a lot more room to grow the share price.